Hey, gonna do a little bit of plinking today with the old Thompson Center Renegade in 54 caliber. I like to think that mountain men used to plink. I'm sure they did. So I bought this in a second hand. Gosh, it must have been 15 years ago. Gave $90 for it, and it's been a shooter ever since. No idea when it was built, but it's in really good condition. So let me get set up here and I'll show you how I load it. Everybody's different, but I'll show you how I do it. All right, so this is the powder we're using today. It's Old Inchford 2F. So I know it's hard to get in some places, but if you can get your hands on real honest to God black powder, that's just what these kind of weapons are designed for. Just good old holy black. Pyrodex will work in a pinch, but it's just not near the same. Doesn't smell as good, doesn't look as good, doesn't sound as good. It's just authentic and I love it, but it's stinky and hard to get, so I like it. Then this is the best I found. I've got some GoX. I've tried Swiss. I've tried all different brands, but this pleases me the most. I like it. So there's a lot of things that'll make black powder shooting more convenient. It's not about fast. None of it's fast, but there's a few things you can do it's a little bit easier. And so something I found, these Blackhorn 209 tubes, especially for 54 caliber, these .530 round balls, that sticks in the cylinder just fine. So the way I always carry them is I'll put the ball in there, then my powder charge will go on top. I haven't loaded up in it yet, but that's how I carry black powder when I'm out shooting. So one of the routines I go through, if I haven't shot it in a while, and it's been several months, is I want to make sure there's nothing in the bore, maybe flies or something in the house got in it. So just run a clean, dry patch down there. And that's not too bad for sitting in the closet for several months. And then you want to make sure that the fire system is clear. This is where your percussion cap sits on, which sends fire down into the chamber. So these are CCI number 10 caps. So one of the easiest things to do is just put you a cap on there, and then put the barrel down close to the ground and point it at a leaf or something. See that? Then when you pop it, it should move that leaf. So that ensures that we're completely clear all the way from where the cap sits all the way down out the barrel. Should be no problem. Now, of course, it comes with a jag rod in it, but I always find it a lot easier if you're just sitting here plinking at the house. Get a dowel rod with your proper size jag and just use that. It's so much easier to work with. Okay, so to load it. And everybody does this a little bit differently, so kind of take this with what you will and adjust as you feel need. So here's this tube. It's got the ball sitting in the bottom and the powder sitting on top, so you can pull this out of your pocket and just pour the powder right on down. Then you're left with just the ball. And of course, you can tap it and do all that kind of stuff if you want to, but everything will get pushed down. And then this is some pillow ticking. So the ball is .53, the bore is .54, So you need something to take up that gap, and I think this is 0.15. I'm not sure, I've had it for so long, but it's already cut to width. It's pre-greased with a mix of beeswax, tallow, and ballistol. So pop the ball out in your hand. It'll come out. Put that over your into your barrel, and then set the ball on it. And with all that grease, it'll stay rolled up together, so it won't come down on you. Then just take your starter and pop it. Now your patch knife, and cut it. So we got the pure lead ball in the barrel with a greased blue patch all the way around. And then you take and push it down a little bit more. And then you got to make real sure that your charge is all the way at the bottom, and you push down your bullet all the way on top of the charge. Okay, and you can see there, I always use 80 grains of powder, and there's a mark on this dowel rod. So when I know when that mark is at the end of the barrel, I'm all the way down bottom. It's as good as it gets. You take your cap. Now, you say you're not supposed to do this fully cocked, but I can't get my fingers on there unless it's fully cocked. So if you can get them on there with it half cocked, more the better. All right, let me get the camera turned around. We'll take a first shot. Okay, so here's a couple of the patches I recovered, and this is what you want to look for when using patch drum ball. So this side was facing towards the powder. You can tell because it's kind of dark black, burnt here a little bit. But you don't want to see any spaces around where the ball sits, where it burnt all the way through. That tells you that the patch sealed and stayed sealed all the way down the bore, and it never left the ball until it left the barrel. If you start getting a lot of burns and frays right around where the ball is, then your patch is too thin. You got to go with a thicker patch or a thicker ball, or you're not quite tight enough. It should be pretty darn tight to stick it down there. So that's a good looking patch. Okay, so here's the first 4 shots I took. Barrel was clean and cold, so it takes a while to get heated up. So I'm not sure if it's just me or what's going on. But after these 4, I gave it a good swab again. Then I shot 3 down here, and that's about where I like it. So this is at 25 yards. With my eyes and iron sights, I won't shoot at a deer anymore in about 50 or 60 yards with this rifle. So that's just perfect. I can hold that on out to 50, and it'd be a good shot. So all good. So we're gonna call that a day.